Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking a fascinating deep dive into a really critical piece of modern web architecture. We're going to be tracing the exact life cycle of a cryptographic key. And to do that, we'll be unpacking a powerful open-source framework called opensigner. Seriously, get ready, because we're about to look at some incredibly elegant engineering.
Okay, let's dive into this. Because this question right here, this is the ultimate Web3 dilemma. For years, developers have been totally trapped in this impossible balancing act. On one side, you have onboarding friction, right? Making users write down 24 complex words just to even try out an app. But then on the other side, you have security. You absolutely need to make sure nobody but the user can ever access their assets. So, how do we build a system that achieves true self-custody without punishing the user with a seed phrase?
Historically, our choices have been pretty grim. We could force users to manage paper seed phrases, which creates a massive cognitive burden and huge physical vulnerabilities. Have you ever tried explaining to someone that losing a tiny piece of paper means losing literally all of their digital assets? It's a tough sell. Or we could swing completely to the other extreme, centralized lock-in, basically surrendering the keys to a proprietary vendor. You trade away true self-custody for convenience and end up creating this massive single point of failure if that vendor ever goes down or just decides to change their terms of service.
Well, enter opensigner. This framework acts as an open-source hero that totally breaks this compromise. By completely separating the key management and signing layer from the application's transaction layer, opensigner provides this vendor-neutral, fully self-hostable solution under an MIT license. It basically proves that you can have your cake and eat it too. You get true non-custodial security paired with a completely seamless, modern user experience. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the Web3 wallet dilemma, then introduce opensigner and dig into Shamir's secret sharing. After that, we'll map out the three-part architecture, look at seamless key recovery, and wrap up with the climax, the ephemeral signature.
Section 1. The Web3 Wallet Dilemma. Beyond the binary. Let's look a bit closer at exactly why legacy systems are failing the modern user.
You know, every past solution just seemed to bring a brand new headache. Seed phrases are physically risky. Client-side passwords, they're highly vulnerable to brute force attacks. Hardware security modules offer great protection, sure, but they lock you into rigid and very costly vendors. Even device-bound passkeys introduce super complex recovery if a user ever switches operating systems. The industry desperately needed a totally new paradigm. Moving to Section 2, introducing opensigner, the open-source solution. Let's step right into the environment where our cryptographic key actually lives and breathes.
opensigner is built on some incredibly sturdy pillars. At its absolute heart is non-custodial threshold key management. It is fully self-hostable, meaning developers maintain total infrastructure ownership. But what's truly brilliant here is that it's auth-agnostic. Developers can plug opensigner right into their existing OpenID Connect, passkey, or email magic link flows. You can literally turn any standard web login into a non-custodial wallet, supporting networks like Ethereum and Solana right out of the box without ever showing the user a single seed phrase.
Section 3. Shamir's secret sharing, the cryptographic base. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the heavy cryptography that makes all of this possible.
Think of Shamir's secret sharing kind of like a pirate's treasure map that has been torn into separate pieces. No single piece contains enough information to reveal the treasure's location on its own. You need a specific number of those pieces brought together to read the map. By using some incredibly complex polynomial mathematics over elliptic curves, opensigner ensures there is absolutely zero single point of failure.
Specifically, opensigner utilizes a 2 of 3 threshold crypto system. At the exact moment of initialization, the private key is mathematically split into 3 distinct shares. And to rebuild that key to sign a transaction, the system only ever needs 2 of those 3 shares.
On to Section 4, the three-part architecture, homes of the shares. So where do these 3 cryptographic map pieces actually live?
So, the crucial point is this. The full private key never exists in one place at rest. Not in a database, not on a server, literally nowhere. This is the absolute bedrock of opensigner's non-custodial guarantee. If a database gets hacked, the attacker just finds mathematical noise. There is no usable key to steal. Instead of sitting in a database, the key is immediately split across 3 locations. First up, we have the device share. This is stored locally within a secure, sandboxed iframe right in the user's browser. Second is the hot share, which is securely managed by a high-performance Go microservice and tied directly to the user's active login session. And third, the cold share. This one is managed by a service called Shield, which basically acts as an encrypted recovery backup. Remember, any two of these three are all you need.
Section 5. Seamless Key Recovery. Surviving Device Loss. This is where the magic really happens. What if our user buys a new phone, or they accidentally clear their browser cache, completely destroying their local device share?
Well, because the user still has their login for the hot share, they just need to unlock the cold share to hit that 2 of 3 threshold. opensigner handles this beautifully. A user can decrypt their cold share using a client-side password or through this incredibly seamless passkey recovery. Developers can even enable automatic recovery, relying on project-wide entropy that's protected by strict one-time password verification sent right to the user's device. Let's look at passkey recovery specifically for a second because it is just incredibly robust. It uses WebAuthn extensions to generate encryption keys purely on the client side. And why does this matter? Because it means the server, even if it is totally compromised by a bad actor, can never steal the user's key. The decryption happens entirely on the user's physical device. Which brings us to Section 6, the ephemeral signature, the climax. Our user is logged in, their shares are ready. It's time to actually sign a blockchain transaction. Let's move to the actual signature process and see how this builds into an incredibly fast, secure sequence. Step 1. The system fetches the hot share and the local device share. Step 2. The private key is reconstructed entirely in the memory of the iframe. Step 3. The transaction is signed. And Step 4. Crucially, the key is instantly discarded from RAM and new shares are proactively generated. This whole flow, it happens in roughly 200 milliseconds.
Notice the specific terms here: ephemeral, in-memory only, sandboxed iframe. The complete private key is basically treated like a ghost. It materializes in volatile RAM just long enough to execute the mathematical signature, and then it vanishes. Poof! It is never written to disk. This exact process is what allows opensigner to offer the convenience of Web 2, but with the absolute, uncompromising security of Web 3.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer flexibility for developers. You can use a fully hosted cloud setup if you want speed, or if you're a strict enterprise, you can self-host the entire stack: cold storage, hot storage, and the iframe origin. You aren't forced into any sort of vendor lock-in. You truly own your infrastructure.
Keys only exist fully in memory during signing. This right here is the philosophy of opensigner distilled into a single sentence. It's a rock-solid commitment to non-custodial values, completely empowered by the freedom of the MIT open source license. By enforcing client-side cryptography and ephemeral execution, the framework ensures that trust is minimized and user sovereignty is maximized.
So, I leave you with this question. Are you ready to build non-custodial wallets without compromising on user experience or infrastructure ownership? The tools to break the old compromises of Web3 are finally here. They're completely open source and they're waiting to be deployed. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this deep dive into opensigner sparks some brilliant ideas for your next build.